This is not betting advice.
I think we have to say that. I don't want this guy to get me in trouble.
No, we don't have to say.
Oh, Will Casual, yeah. But,
Charles is a little bit more plodding. Max is light on his feet. He's constantly cutting angles.
Yeah.
I think Max is just going to do too much damage early on, and I think he's going to put him out cold in the 3rd or 4th round.
A guy like Max and a guy like Charles who's been there and done that at both of them. I mean, legendary careers. I think what you want about this BMF belt, you get to put them in a main event.
Yeah.
I think everyone likes both those fighters.
That's what RDR did.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna look up his last few
professional fights in the UFC in one calendar year
Yeah.
is absurd.
I think he gets a lot of flack, and you only see like he's newer to the UFC, and he built most of his career before going in. But I think he's got a tremendous amount of experience. He's beaten former champions, but Rob Font hits super hard.
True.
You know? Yeah,
True. He's got funky power, doesn't he? It's going to be hard to submit Rob Font. He's only been submitted once by Pedro Munoz, I think it was. But Raul Rosas on your back, I don't know. I just think that's a problem.
There you go. That's that shot. You heard it from the man. You heard it from the casual, the casual corner, Hey guys, before we get back into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you like it. Leave a comment down below if you like what we're doing. And in case you didn't know, when you're visiting BangtaoMuayThai.com, BangtaoFightStore.com, retail, merch, all of our stuff, enter in discount code YouTube10 for 10% discount off of everything. Enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to the channel. And today's special one, we got Will Casuals, one of my favorite MMA Instagram pages to follow for sure. So we got Will is in Bangtao right now, so we figured we'd break down UFC 326. It's 326 this weekend?
Yep.
Some super good fights on there. Just kind of go over the main and the co-main. So how you doing? Good to see you. How you doing?
That was a nice introduction.
Yeah,
I didn't
fucking man, bro. I love it. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out his page. I fucking love. Check out the kid. Look at him. He's smart. He's got I think his jersey's almost better than mine.
You weren't wearing your one today.
I know, I do have one. I should have worn it. But
Aloni Kavanaugh collaboration.
Is that it?
As well.
The man of the hour. Fucking hell.
Exactly.
UFC 326, just start to the main event. That's the BMF belt. No matter what you want to call it, it's just a super good fight. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. Yeah, pretty good. What do you think?
From your perspective, I wanted to ask you just about the grappling. Obviously, for the most part of Max's career, he's done a good job of just keeping people away from him. People don't really get into very advantageous spots in him. Do you think that Charles has the wrestling to get to those spots?
I was looking at Max's record. Has he ever been submitted?
By Dustin Poirier
Did he?
very early on when they first started fighting. I think it was a mounted triangle to armbar.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I think his obviously he's known as he likes to stand on the feet, he likes to box. You're really honestly, it's just such a great fight, stylistically, and seeing even them come back at that weight class. Is it at 70 kilos or is it?
That's at lightweight, so it'll be at 155 pounds. And that's the interesting.
Max at lightweight is great,
Well, this is the thing, right? Because a lot of people have the Ilia Topuria fight in their head. But you look at Max's record, he's won, 4 out of 5 at lightweight. He's had a good amount of time in between fights. And I think at 55... Yeah, but Ilia,
that little run was it looked better on each person that
exactly.
that fight, so...
Exactly. I think for Max, when I just look at that fight, one of the key things at lightweight is just his speed. I think he's a lot quicker than most of the guys at lightweight. Yeah. And I think against Charles Oliveira, that's for me where this is going to be sort of won and lost. Is Charles is a little bit more plodding. He kind of likes to walk forward and then throw his shots, where Max is light on his feet. He's constantly cutting angles, and I think he's just going to be able to touch Charles up quite early, to be perfectly honest.
He's hard to grab.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's hard to grab. So, but same as Charles, I would never put anything past him. Some of the stuff he's done, it's just,
Well, this is it. You look at Oliveira and...
He just beat, who did he just beat?
He just beat Gamrot.
Gamrot, yeah, exactly.
Gamrot, submitted Gamrot. He's kind of had about 9 different careers, hasn't he, Charles? That's why it's always quite hard to sort of bet against him, because you can't count him out going in there and just starching Max Holloway, right? But when I look at this fight, and if I were to give a prediction, I think early on Max is going to be, like I said, quite light on his feet. I think he's going to touch him up. I think Charles is going to look to walk forwards. I think Max is just going to do too much damage early on, and I think he's going to put him out cold in the 3rd or 4th round. What do you think?
That's the call. No, that's the call. I don't like to make a call, but I think I wouldn't put it past either to be able to win. Of course, Max, he's a 5-round fighter.
Yeah.
He for sure is, and damage and accumulation and boxing. He's there for every round. So if Charles manages to get him down and do something, I wouldn't put it past him either.
The interesting thing as well, I think, with that is, he has now been knocked out. I know that was at featherweight and this is at lightweight. So the granite chin was always one of his best assets, right? But now it's been cracked. I don't think he's completely shop worn.
Is this his
This is his second. He fought Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, so he got at least the confidence back too. Like,
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
But I watched a little training clip, just a small takeaway, and obviously there's only so much you can take from these sort of things on Instagram. But I saw Charles just doing a simple drill, but an interesting one, of where he was just catching 3 or 4 punches just with a high guard and then just ripping back hard. And when you do watch Max, he does just touch in 1s and 2s, but he will sit in the pocket and throw 3, 4, 5 shots sometimes.
For sure.
And Charles does have some good counter shots, and he does have some good power. It reminds me of that elbow he landed against Ilya. So, could he catch him coming in? I think so, but I'm going to go a 3rd round TKO Max Holloway.
That's it. It's not a bad pick. It makes sense, you know. But yeah, I think, you know, honestly, it is like, at the end of it, it's good we're even like talking about these fights happening. A guy like Max and a guy like Charles, who's been there and done that at both of them. I mean, legendary careers. Think what you want about this BMF belt. You get to put them in a main event.
Yeah.
And I think everyone likes both those fighters. Yeah. You know, so I think it's a good win for really everyone watching. It'll be really interesting to see, like, stylistically how it goes. But
what's the final prediction?
Prediction? We'll see. We'll see. I try not to predict. I have maybe in my head what things, but I don't, you know. Yeah.
All right, so we'll roll on to the co-main. So we've got Reina Derrida versus Caio Borralho. Yeah. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, so Reiner, he's coming off a fight where a lot of people just chat shit.
Yeah.
But that guy, you got to remember, that's the thing about fighting. People only remember the last moment you had, or you're only as good as your last performance. But he got a lot of flack for that. But that guy's fought a lot of good people and at a good level for a long time. So even before getting to the UFC. So I think people didn't really get to see his career. So when they just saw that moment, you kind of feel for him. But you can't count him out. I think a lot of people count him out because of that. You know,
from your perspective, can you give us a little bit of an insight of what it looks like to have 5 professional fights in a calendar year? Because that's what RDR did, and I don't think a lot of people factor that in with that fight with Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna look up his last
professional fights in the UFC in 1 calendar year is absurd.
And who he beat before that?
Yeah, Kevin Holland, Bo Nickel, Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker, Bo Nickel, Kevin Holland, Gerald Mearshart. Yeah. He's he did a lot, even getting into the UFC, and even before. You know, like, people don't know, like, he's a very good, you know, submission artist, fighter. Like, he's been up there. So that's the thing. People have short memories, but, you know, as you fight and you've been in camps, you know, you like know that stuff. Like, it'll be interesting to see. But, you know, he's fought a lot of good people and beat a lot of really good people. He beat former champions.
Yeah.
You know, and he was a champion and won before. And you can compare skill level, whatever it is. But he did good over there. He had some really good fights.
And he was fighting at multiple weight classes, right? Sure. He lost to Anthony Malakian. And it was a similar thing as well. You go back and watch that fight. Similar thing, kind of quit on the stool, but had 100 fights in a year again. And that will do it to you. I don't think a lot of people sometimes realize quite how much physically and mentally just goes into a long camp like that. What do you think about the grappling in that, though? Because obviously Reina Derrida is known, is mostly known for his grappling. Do you think that he'll be able to sort of take Caio down?
Yeah, I see him being able to get him to the ground. Yeah. Like I said, I've seen him fight really high level and good people. So I think it'll be a fight of that again. I think that's like going to be his game plan. I think he out grappled Paul Craig as well.
He actually faced Brendan Allen in a grappling match as well, which is interesting because obviously he's the last person to beat RDR. So
I think he gets a lot of flack, and you only see like he's newer to the UFC, and he built most of his career before going in. But I think he's got a tremendous amount of experience. He's beaten former champions. No doubt he's lost in his life and come back. And it's another good fight.
It's a funny one because it's not often that you get to see.
And it's 3 rounds.
Well, this is what I was going to say. It's 3 rounds, but it's also southpaw, which is a little bit funky because you don't always get that necessarily at the top, especially not a middleweight. So that's going to be interesting. I do think RDR just starts a lot quicker than Caio. I think sometimes Caio just looks and sort of waits to see what he gets. He's quite methodical. I think RDR's just going to come out the gates, just try and smother him with big kicks, big knees, and just get to him. I think once he gets that body lock, Caio's got decent grappling. I think he's just going to have a little bit too much. So it's going to be difficult to get the submission, but I think he's going to do enough over 3 rounds to get the decision. I think he's going to just win the first 2 and then maybe sort of fade a little bit towards the back end. So I'm going to go RDR decision on that.
That's it. It's a good pick. I like it. I enjoy it.
You sit on the fence with the picks.
I know. I'm a fan of most of the guys. So I can think about stylistically what would happen, and unless you're my mate, but everything else. just kind of watch, see what happens. And I think they're good fights, and either way, it'll be good. So excited to see it. That's my answer.
I was going to say, I think if you look at the top of this card, so you've got Charles Oliveira, you've got Reina Derrida, and then you've also got Raul Rosas Jr. I can't remember the last time they had back-to-back-to-back grapplers to that level, at least in MMA.
Sure. Yeah, watching him fight's awesome, especially if you are a grappler. But you know, you look at his striking. The striking has also changed so much over the years. But like at his roots, he has such good abilities to get to the back, get to finishes, and win fights. I mean, yeah, the dude's a winner. So
with the Raul Rosas Jr. one, I think there's quite a lot of moments you can look back and sort of see a passing of the torch moment, and this feels like it at bantamweight. You've got Rob Font, he's what, 38?
Sure.
And then you've got Raul Rosas Jr., who's 21.
Yeah.
And I think this is his 5th, potentially even 6th fight in the UFC.
Raul.
And he's 21.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fights. A lot of people don't even get to that mark. So he's still fairly experienced, even though he's pretty young. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, I think it's just like you said. You know, Rob Font's been in the UFC for a long time. And who's the last person Rosas fought?
Rosas fought Vince Morales and won. He was then meant to be facing Rob Font in September, but that got cancelled. So that's why, although for Rob Font, that he fought in that time. So he's had a training camp. He's not necessarily been working, improving his skills that much, but he has stayed sharp. And then you've got Raul Rosas Jr., who has probably improved quite a lot in 6 months at the age of 21 in between that time. And he's not been in fight camp. And you know what the difference looks like of when people are in a camp and when they're not.
And just that,
they can actually improve a little bit more.
The UFC experience, like you said, that getting at that age and so young, but like not being pushed too fast.
True.
Yeah, like still fighting like his way up, you know. But just that confidence also comes. You're 21 years old, you know.
Yeah.
But Rob Font hits super hard.
True.
You know? Yeah.
True. He's got funky power, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like it looks like it hurts to fight him.
Yeah.
You know? So
he's got big hands.
Oh yeah, he just got heavy everything.
He's got big hands. He's got a really good jab. His striking's quite underrated, but it's quite fundamental. I think if you look at Raul Rosas Jr., I think him and his team are gonna do some homework on Rob Font. And although it's easier to look at in the tape room, I don't think there's too many areas that they have to dissect. They know they have to get past the range. They know they have to get past the jab. And I think if he can do that and he can get to a body lock, he can just create some connection, I think that's going to be it, to be honest. It's going to be hard to submit Rob Font. He's only been submitted once by Pedro Munoz, I think it was. But Raul Rosas on your back, I don't know. I just think that's a problem. Have you seen him grapple before?
Yeah, I've seen him grapple. I've seen some videos. I was hearing about him for quite a while because Frank was over there when he was like super young teenager, and he was like, man, this kid's really good. So yeah, it's exciting to watch him fight. Has he fought in a co-main event before?
I don't know if he's fought a co-main event, but he's been on a lot of numbered events, and I feel like he rises to the occasion.
I think it's
quite
good.
Well.
Yeah, no, I think he's got like a lot of hype behind him, but he's like young, super talented, like super talented.
It's like what you said as well. I don't think they've rushed him too much. Like he's had very small step ups in his career, and if you look at Rob Font, he's always lost to the next level. Every time he's fought good guys, he's often beat them. But every time he faces that next level, like the Jose Aldos and whatnot, obviously that's quite exceptional. But he's then fallen short. So it's quite a question of how good is Raul Rosas Jr. You know, that's really what I think we're going to see answered here. And to be honest, I think he's going to be a bit too much. I think he's going to be able to not submit him, but I think he's going to grind out a couple of rounds at least. And I'll give him the first 2. And I'm going to go unanimous decision, Raul Rosas Jr.
There you go. That's that. You heard it from the man. You heard it from the casual, you know, the casual corner, you know. So it felt like that break during like the Christmas and New Year's like took forever.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, like I almost forgot like what it was like to just have fights fairly often. You know, they had the 2 back-to-back, and then was that maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, but had some fight nights last week, and yeah, it's good to have the fights back. So
this is not betting advice.
Betting advice. This is not betting advice. I think we have to say that. I don't want this guy to get me in trouble.
No, we don't have to say.
Will Casual, yeah. But yeah, good to have you around. Yeah, good to chat. We're gonna talk comic books. We're gonna talk pizza. We're gonna hang out a little bit. So yeah, looking forward to watching the fights. Hold on. These fights are Saturday night in America, but here it's Sunday morning. So Saturday night, the real big fight of the weekend we forgot to talk about is Paul.
That's why I've extended my stay.
This is why you came here.
Yeah.
Videographer Paul, the Miami Hand of the Land. Paul fighting his first Muay Thai fight. Pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, I'm buzzing.
And you get to stay another day because of it.
Yeah, well, 4 days.
I tried to act all cool. I think I was talking about the brawl, and I was like, oh, like when you leaving? And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna stay for Paul's fight. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, cool. I was like, yeah, me too. You know? I was like slightly offended. I was like, oh, Paul didn't tell me he's fighting Muay Thai. This is great.
I don't think he knew, to be fair. I think he got it chucked on him quite late, but that's how Muay Thai works in Thailand. They see you hit pads once. If you look crisp enough, they'll chuck you in. So I'm looking forward to that.
He looks pretty crisp, man. Look
he
at
doesn't.
him.
Doesn't look too
Don't
bad.
Don't fuck with Paul.
I know. I think if you're just standing still, we'll try and spar you. So I'm glad that he's got an actual sanctioned
It's on Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
What was that for my last one as well?
Yeah, there you go.
I was there in Liverpool for the MMA.
Nasty.
I commentated on his first fight, actually. Yeah, my MMA debut was also his MMA debut.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Very full circle.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, good to have you. Yeah, we'll see you here at Bangtao.
Keep it casual.